Oh, here we are, outside broadcast style at the MCG, and I tell you right now, it's going to be a very big afternoon. Andrew Newbold, of course, the chairman of the Hawks, he's on his way. Adam Simpson only speaks to us on Triple M Footy, the coach of the West Coast Eagles. Spud has a look at the great head wobblers of 2015. We get to BT, who's going to be joining us shortly. The Super Quiz Gaz is worth
$10,000 cash to some lucky Nipsey out there. And here it is, Spud, there, and you haven't even seen it because you're a congenital cheat.
You are. You're a cheat, Spud. That's what happens. And, of course, Ben Dixon joins us, gives us all the odds. Now, I'm going to introduce, there's millions here. Cool. Why wouldn't there be, of course? This is the main event. Prior to the game, the Triple MCG OB for Triple M. Now, Damien Barrett's here, best news breaker in the business. Put your hands together for Purple.
Hey, JB, Gaz. Spud. Warrior.
Spud's here, of course, former superstar for the Saints and coach of Richmond. Put your hands together for Spud.
Yeah, get around me. I've been for a walk around the G, and there's a couple of mobs around the corner. There's some hot soup, and they're unplugged around the corner.
Flat as a biscuit. We'll get to that in a moment. And Gary Lyon, former superstar of the Melbourne.
Get around him.
Very nice to be here today, and I tell you, the Hawthorn supporters here for the third time. I hope they know how lucky they are.
That's it.
You reckon we're not jealous?
No.
But gee, has there been a West Coast contingent that's travelled over from the west?
Have a look at them all.
Three of them there, I can see.
They're out the back here. They're smart. They're getting under the shade, the West Coast. He's just hot.
Well, let's deal with the elephant
what
in the room.
What the bloody hell?
30 degrees already, and it's going to be a factor, Spuddy boy. I don't care what anyone says, it's going to be a factor.
There's no doubting that.
Why are you sitting next to me, by the way?
I'm not sure. The producer, Big Nose, told me to sit. I'm normally up there next to Warrior, but no, I don't want to sit near him today.
Why?
Because something happened earlier in the week, which we'll talk about later on, that I need to bring to your attention.
Yep.
But Michael Tuck, back in 1987, was the first and only time he wore short-sleeve jumpers, Gary. 30 degrees, similar conditions, and the Blues, the young Blues team, ran all over the Hawks. Will we see the same today?
Guys, when you say it's a factor, who's it going to favour?
Well, how do I know, Warrior?
Well, you're saying it's a factor.
Mate, the West Coast Eagles.
Well, you would have thought West Coast
Eagles. These bloody conditions. Purple stinking on it. What the hell are you on about?
What a stupid question.
Have a look at it's stinking bloody hot in Perth.
In 2008, you sat here and said it would affect, the heat would affect Hawthorn the most and Stuart Dew wouldn't get a kick. What happened?
Oh, he's going back to 2008.
Did you say that on that day?
I was part-time defensive coach, I might add, of that team, and I was just putting their expectations down a bit. West Coast Eagles have had 30-degree weather for the last month, you imbecile.
They're elite athletes. They push through pain barriers.
Off to a good start.
That's it.
No, it will.
They push through, guys.
They do.
Get the job done.
You live in Melbourne, don't you, and this is the first sort of hot stretch that we've had for
8 years.
And I don't care what anyone says. After half time, it's going to be mentally sapping, energy sapping, so mental toughness comes into it as well as the physical element. And I did naturally think it would favour West Coast, but I did speak to a couple of people, and the biggest factor from a West Coast point of view this afternoon is going to be their ruckman, unbelievable Nick Naitanui, and this person suggested that he doesn't really like that sort of weather and conditions.
What?
Yeah. So
is he a Fijian?
Well, that's right, Jim.
All right.
I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
I think he's born into it, Gary.
Yeah, I think
I've got
a beautiful ability to embrace the heat.
How's that work, guys?
Well, Warrior, he left Fiji early. Anyway, you might find that he spends a little bit of time forward today as well, and Callum Sinclair is a very, very good player. Will play in the ruck as well. So all that.
I'm concerned with the heat.
What?
I'm concerned with the heat about one man.
Spud?
Well, Spud might implode later on, but Jared Roughhead, Gary, is a man who's been dealt an horrific set of cards.
Hey, hang on. Before you go on your rant.
His mum here yet?
His mum, his beautiful
she's
mother,
here somewhere.
His
always
brother's here
comes
somewhere.
here.
Yeah, she'll get in later. Pasty skin and red hair.
Yeah, not a good
So,
compliment.
Gary, he's got 2 hours in the bright sunshine. He's going to have to wear a hat, Jim Stein style. First grand final player ever to wear a hat.
Terry Toweling style.
I think he's going to go there.
A yellow Terry
Clive
Toweling.
Lloyd back in World Series cricket.
I like it.
Imagine that purple.
He had the bandage look last week in the
it
prelim,
looked
Jim. Could he
horrendous.
just go with that again?
Swimming
the
cap.
skin-coloured bandage? No?
I think he's got 5 in him today, JB.
You think he has?
I think he's got a 5er.
Well, it's time.
Yeah, we had 5 last year. I think he's
Righto.
got another 5. Back-to-back 5s for the big rough.
Jesus, hot, Jim.
It is hot. I know. Look
It
at
is
these
hot.
magnificent people. Luckily, we've provided beautiful gum trees for them all to park themselves under.
I fear for the for 3AW and the over 55s.
Oh no, they're giving him hot soup.
They could wilt in this weather.
Well, they can't chew anything. They've got no teeth. All the people listening.
Mind you, I will say this about this topic, Gary. After the greatest year of ratings dominance in the history of ratings being counted this year.
Humbly and modestly put it out there.
No, there's no humility in it at all. That's just an absolute fact. So after that's happened this year, I think 4 surveys and a total 10-plus domination of all 4, it was very nice for the Herald Sun to record that fact this week.
I didn't see
Not sure they did.
No, I don't think they did, JB.
I'm not a reader of the paper, but someone told me that that's what they did. They accurately represented what the ratings have been for the year. So
No, for the first time
nice.
they put the results in the paper, but it wasn't a
What do you
portrayal of Triple M's dominance, Jim.
What are you talking about?
No, I think it was more of the other mob might have actually done okay.
Let's cut to the chase,
Give me a
Jim.
spell.
Your man Scott Gullen declared 3AW as the number 1 radio station on the back of 1 win out of 14 different surveys.
Yep. Well, no, 1 win out of 14 different slots in 4 surveys.
That's right.
So, there, Gary. I'm glad they did the right thing and represented the ratings as they've been for the year, because these millions of people here, they know what they're listening to, the number 1 bloody product. They want it backed up in the survey,
I'm not
Gary.
sure they did though, Jim.
I think Scotty might have missed the mark.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I know it's sunny outside, but
Yes.
why have you got your glasses on
Because it's
inside?
sunny. I'm
very
getting bloody
clear.
to piling into
give
it,
me a
Spud.
break.
Plus, I'm a cool-looking guy.
You just
Whereas
like
you look like
wearing-
shit. Get some sunnies on, Spud.